Welcome back to the Deep Dive. This week, we are just navigating a completely accelerating technology landscape.
It really feels that way.
It feels like AI capability,
Yeah.
investment, and all the controversy have hit a collective new gear all at once.
Yeah.
Everything, the models, the tools, even the actual physical factories that house them, it's all being redefined like every 72 hours.
That's absolutely right. And our mission today is to give you a genuine shortcut to being well-informed on all of it.
Okay.
We need to just rapidly distill the most important nuggets of knowledge, focusing on two things.
What are they?
First, the key conflicts in the battle for AI supremacy. And second, the truly surprising practical advancements that are already altering massive industries.
And the big picture hook, I mean, the central tension is still that rivalry between Google and OpenAI, right?
It is.
But what we've noticed this week is that the competition has moved beyond just the performance benchmarks. Now it's about massive scale, concrete physical investment, and increasingly some intense legal friction. We're going to unpack all of it. So let's start where all the action is. The digital battleground of the model wars. The competition for the fastest, smartest model is, I mean, it's just incredibly intense.
It is.
What's the latest scorecard in the whole GPT versus Gemini showdown?
Well, it is a heated, high-stakes race where every single decimal point seems to matter.
Yeah.
Google's Gemini 3, it definitely sparked an accelerated race. They're noted for improved reasoning, advanced features, but the headline this week was a really specific technical milestone.
And that was?
Gemini 3 Pro overtook GPT-5 on the ALE bench coding benchmark.
Hold on. For those of us tracking, why is that specific benchmark, ALE bench, why is that such a big deal?
Because ALE bench is, well, it's essentially the gold standard for measuring real-world coding and planning identity. It's not just general knowledge. It signifies that Gemini 3 Pro is demonstrably better at executing the complex tasks that developers actually need, like reasoning through multi-step coding problems.
So that's a huge psychological and practical win in the developer community.
A huge win.
So if Google took the coding crown, what was OpenAI's move? Because they never, ever sit still.
No, they countered immediately. They shipped GPT-5.1 Pro.
Okay.
And this is a major internal upgrade. It's focused on enhancing the quality of writing and data analysis. But the strategic feature that really shows where they're focusing is that it offers 8 user-selectable personalities for customized chats.
8 personalities.
Yeah.
So that moves the AI from being this, like, monolithic tool to something you can truly personalize.
Exactly.
Is that a strategic move to deflect from the coding laws, or is that actually what users prize most?
I think it's the latter. It speaks directly to the feedback that users aren't just looking for raw leaderboard scores. They want collaboration.
Right.
They want memory. They want voice control and a tool that can adapt its tone. A personality for writing a formal report and then a completely different one for debugging a messy script.
And they're confident in this.
So confident that GPT 5.1 Pro will replace the older version for all subscribers within 90 days. It just signals that functionality and collaboration are beginning to trump raw speed and benchmarks.
That's fascinating. The shift from raw performance to a tailored experience.
Yeah.
But the model wars aren't only fought by the corporate giants. We saw a massive movement in the open source ecosystem.
We did.
Specifically, INAI's OLMo 3.
Yes, and this is where transparency becomes a competitive feature in its own right. OLMo 3 is a fully open Apache 2.0 licensed LLM suite.
Okay.
And what makes it a major moment is that the sources are reporting unprecedented transparency. They shared the full training pipeline, the data reports, the checkpoints. Everything is public.
So why should the listener, who may not be a deep AI researcher, care about a full training pipeline? What does that really mean for them?
It means it tackles the fundamental black box problem. If you rely on this model for your business, your security, or even sensitive data processing, you can actually audit the data it was trained on.
Okay.
You can confirm there are no inherent biases or security flaws hidden away in proprietary layers.
So it's about trust.
It's a huge step for trust and customization, and OLMo 3 is being praised as the strongest fully open 32 billion reasoning model out there. It's even approaching the performance of Qwen 3.
That assurance is huge, especially for enterprise adoption. And we also saw progress in efficiency, right?
Absolutely. MiniMax's M2 architecture emerged, and it's claiming top-tier performance, but at a fraction of the cost.
A fraction of the cost.
Yeah, achieving speedups of 2 to 3 times. This focus on efficiency is vital because it's what allows these huge models to move out of massive data centers and closer to your device, to the edge.
And there were others too.
Right. Plus, for those just wanting to experiment, even XAI made Grok 4 reasoning free to try this week. The competition is just, it's everywhere.
We've seen the model wars are heating up in the digital realm.
Yeah.
But what is fueling that astronomical race?
Yeah.
The answer isn't just software.
Not at all.
It's the concrete physical foundation being poured right now. The sheer scale of investment in infrastructure is just staggering.
It truly is. This is where AI moves from being a software phenomenon to a heavy industry. We're talking cement and steel.
And you can't talk about this without mentioning SoftBank.
You really can't. Their commitment, a $3 billion investment to convert a former EV plant in Ohio into a factory specifically for modular OpenAI data centers.
Wait, a data center factory. So SoftBank is basically moving from being a major venture capitalist to an AI construction company.
That's it. It's an astonishing pivot.
What does that tell us about the current bottleneck in AI?
It tells us the bottleneck has shifted from algorithms to physical compute supply chain control. This investment is all to support OpenAI's highly ambitious Stargate project.
So they're betting on physical infrastructure.
SoftBank is betting that the future of AI supremacy hinges on who can build and deploy these physical supercomputing facilities the fastest. They're signaling that computational capacity is the limiting factor, not clever code.
And speaking of future capacity, we also saw reports of some volatile yet massive negotiations between NVIDIA and OpenAI.
Yes, those talks centered on a potential $100 billion investment for future AI supercomputing centers.
An astronomical number.
It is, but the deal is reportedly highly uncertain.
Why is that?
Because AI partnerships are just rapidly shifting. OpenAI is already locking in major deals with other players like AMD for chip supply. The landscape is unstable, but the commitment to build these massive compute centers is absolute.
Okay, so if that's the infrastructure, let's look at where the AI is actually being deployed. Because it's not just consumer chatbots anymore.
No, not at all. It's high-stakes, specialized industry adoption.
Yeah.
We're seeing deep integration into highly regulated and specialized sectors. Look at Bloomberg, for instance.
Okay.
They detailed how their AI threads through all their financial products, supported by over 500 engineers managing billions of data points. AI is now completely foundational to how global financial data is organized and delivered.
And then there's the incredibly complex energy sector. The news about Westinghouse and Google that was truly unexpected. Nuclear power plants.
That's a perfect example of AI being deployed to solve a massive, decade-old industrial problem, the sheer expense and complexity of nuclear plant construction.
So what are they doing?
Westinghouse is collaborating with Google Cloud on an AI platform that leverages decades of reactor data, 3D digital twins, and predictive modeling.
And the goal there?
The goal is explicitly to streamline construction, reduce errors, and drastically cut costs. This is not some pilot project. This is using AI to facilitate a new era of critical, high-stakes infrastructure.
It demonstrates that the ROI is now visible even in sectors where innovation tends to move slowly.
It does, and that brings us to the data. It really sounds like enterprises realizing this isn't a long-term future bet, but an immediate operational necessity.
That seems to be the trend.
Exactly. A major new survey found that over 80% of enterprises are already seeing a measurable return on investment ROI from their AI initiatives.
80%. Wow.
And critically, they expect those returns to be even higher next year. That 80% figure is the smoking gun that tells companies this is not a fad. It's a necessary, high-value tool.
Let's zoom in now on the aha moments, the new tools that feel genuinely revolutionary for everyday use. And the visual and creative advancements this week were stunning.
They were.
Led by Google's new creative tool.
That would be Nano Banana Pro. It's Google's most advanced image creation tool, and it's powered by the new Gemini 3 Pro model.
And what does that mean in practice?
It brings production-grade 4K image generation, which is a big leap in quality, but the key breakthrough is its precise text rendering within images.
Finally, we can stop laughing at the image generators that consistently spell coffee. COFFEEE,
right,
or just can't handle street signs.
Right.
That simple fix is actually huge for any professional production-grade use.
It is huge. Nano Banana Pro can also comprehend and annotate infographics and diagrams, and this is important. It maintains style-consistent characters across a series of generated images.
Oh, that's essential for branding and storytelling.
Exactly, and it's available right now across the Gemini API and Google AI Studio, so it's immediately accessible.
Meanwhile, Meta, they're continuing to advance pure computer vision.
They are. They launched SAM 3 and SAM 3D.
which stands for
Segment Anything Model. This brings advanced image and 3D object segmentation, so the ability to precisely isolate and understand objects within a visual field to consumer apps like Facebook Marketplace and Instagram.
So that enables far richer editing and product interactions.
That's the idea.
Beyond the creative realm, though, the real high-impact details are emerging in healthcare. The cost and speed of diagnosis are being fundamentally changed. This is where AI literally saves lives.
These are the most encouraging breakthroughs, I think. Get this. A state-of-the-art cancer model was released on Hugging Face for the incredibly low cost of just $1.60.
If a crucial diagnostic tool costs less than a cup of coffee, how does that fundamentally restructure medical access globally? That's massive.
It is a massive democratization of advanced diagnostics. It radically lowers the barrier to entry for clinics everywhere.
And the performance is better, too.
Superior, yeah. New generative AI models, like cytodiffusion, are now surpassing human experts in detecting abnormal blood cells linked to leukemia.
So they're speeding up diagnostics and reducing human error at the same time.
Simultaneously. That rapid, superior detection capability is truly life-changing. It's moving beyond just speed to outright accuracy.
And AI is also revolutionizing personalized medicine.
It is. Researchers are now using AI to analyze vast amounts of patient data, predicting who responds best to popular weight loss drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound.
So you're shifting prescribing from this generalized trial and error approach to targeted personalized treatment.
Exactly, improving efficacy and cutting costs.
And for emergency care, we saw a critical application for stroke detection.
Yes, a Kazakh startup, Cerebra.ai, is detecting strokes within minutes using scans. This addresses the critical shortage of specialist neurologists, especially in rural areas.
Which enables faster treatment decisions,
Yeah.
which are absolutely vital in stroke cases.
Absolutely vital. So whether it's making advanced medicine cheaper and more accessible or making emergency care faster and more accurate than a human specialist, AI is achieving both.
Let's quickly touch on the productivity side for developers. What's new there?
For developers, it was a tidal wave of tooling focused entirely on velocity.
Right way.
VS Code rolled out an AI toolkit for Copilot-assisted agent creation. Docker Model Runner integrated VLLM, which is key for high-throughput inference, meaning you can run large language models really fast locally.
And Hugging Face.
They introduced Ulysses sequence parallelism to their accelerate library.
Right.
Now, if you don't track the technical details, sequence parallelism is just a technique that lets these massive models handle enormous code bases or input sequences really quickly and efficiently.
So everything's just focused on making developers faster.
Exactly. And finally, a necessary mention of secure educational adoption. Fairfax County Schools is piloting ChatGPT for teachers with OpenAI, using it for lesson planning, data analysis, and crucially, the University of Utah has launched ChatGPT Edu, a customized, secure version of the chatbot for academic use.
So the integration is happening, but compliance and security are being baked in from the start.
They have to be.
This incredible pace of innovation, though, is met with an equally rapid surge in risks. We have to discuss the security alarms.
We do.
The darker side of AI proliferation is very real. It's moving from hypothetical risks to active threats.
It is an active threat, and it's an AI versus AI battle now. Google's threat intelligence team issued a serious warning this week
But it was.
that hackers and nation-state agents are exploiting Gemini AI itself to build sophisticated self-rewriting malware.
Wow.
The models are creating new types of cyber threats that are harder to detect and are constantly mutating.
So the very tool designed for innovation is now being weaponized against us. We also have warnings about targeted fraud.
Yes, there are warnings about surging state-sponsored AI-powered fraud, specifically targeting startups and early-stage companies, where security protocols might be, less robust.
And the agents designed to help us are also vulnerable.
They are. The very agents designed to help enterprises, like coding assistants, are showing critical vulnerabilities.
Tell us about the flaws found in those enterprise platforms.
Critical flaws were found in platforms like ServiceNow's Now Assist and coding agents like Klein. The vulnerability comes primarily through prompt injection risks.
Which is basically tricking the AI.
Essentially, yeah. Tricking the AI agent into executing code or leaking data that it shouldn't. If you're using these agents to summarize sensitive documents, that's a major data breach risk.
And perhaps the most worrying geopolitical risk involves these coding assistants themselves.
CrowdStrike research provided a fascinating but very concerning detail. They found that China's DeepSeek R1 coding assistant produces significantly more vulnerable code when prompted with sensitive terms.
More vulnerable code.
And crucially, it contains hard-coded censorship mechanisms.
So this means if you're a developer building your commercial product using a foreign source coding assistant, you're not just importing code, you might be importing inherent security liabilities and foreign censorship right into your source files.
Exactly. That's a massive supply chain risk. It raises these profound questions about where your digital tools are sourced and what agendas or vulnerabilities are embedded within them.
Which brings us directly to the legal battles.
Which will set crucial precedents for how we govern all of this AI output.
The George R.R. Martin lawsuit is the big one defining creative copyright.
It is. A federal judge allowed the lawsuit against OpenAI and Microsoft to proceed. The suit revolves around ChatGPT-generated sequels to A Song of Ice and Fire.
And that ruling is major.
It's major because it could define the future of copyright protection and fair use in creative industries against AI model training and output.
And it's not just copyright. Trademark disputes are also intensifying.
Yeah, Overdrive, the educational app maker, is suing OpenAI over the use of the name Sora, claiming confusion and harm to their established brand.
So as these AI models move into the mainstream, we should expect these trademark battles to become pretty common.
I think so. It'll force companies to be much more careful about their naming conventions.
Finally, let's highlight the proactive moves toward ethics and user control, because these are vital for building consumer trust against this flood of synthetic content.
They are. Google is rolling out tools for transparency, specifically image provenance checks via synthide watermark detection.
So you can just ask it.
You can now simply ask Gemini, is this AI generated?
And TikTok is doing something similar.
TikTok is also empowering users with new controls, including a slider tool to adjust the amount of AI-generated content appearing in their feed, along with invisible watermarks.
So user choice and the ability to verify content seem to be the primary countermeasures to the explosion of synthetic media.
It seems to be the direction we're heading. And finally, a necessary safety warning came from Stanford researchers.
What was that about?
Cautioning teenagers against relying on AI chatbots for mental health support. The findings showed these tools frequently fail to address serious issues or direct users to professional help.
Which highlights a critical safety and ethical gap as adoption grows, especially among younger users.
A very critical gap. #tag outro.
What an astonishing week. I mean, the pace of innovation, whether it's Gemini 3 overtaking GPT-5 in coding, the power of Nano Banana Pro, or the direct impact of AI in fields like stroke care.
It's incredible.
It's matched only by this growing need for vigilance against security risks and defining these new legal precedents.
The key takeaway for you, the learner, is that the ultimate utility of these tools really hinges on understanding their limitations in the larger industry dynamics.
Right.
We've seen that users often prioritize features like memory, personalization through those personalities, and collaboration over raw performance metrics.
The functionality is becoming more important than the leaderboard scores.
It really is.
And let's close by just reiterating that fascinating tension we've been tracking. We see this massive centralized power at play SoftBank, investing billions to build physical data center factories for OpenAI's Stargate project.
Cementing physical supply chain control.
Yes, but that immense centralization is happening simultaneously with a strong pull toward local and open tools.
Right, like OLMo 3's complete data transparency and the development of these energy-efficient LLMs like TSAR for edge devices.
Which raises an important question for all of us to consider. What impact will this tension between centralized compute power and decentralized transparent models ultimately have on who truly controls the future development and application of AI?
Which side will win the long game? The physical monopolization of compute or the intellectual democratization of the models? That's what we'll be watching next.